Let's create a document from scratch and make the document ADA compliant using the format tools discussed in the Step 1 document. First, click the View tab in Word and select Navigation pane, which will display your heading structure as you create it. Next, return to the Home tab. Select a sans serif font, a font size of 12 point or larger, and a font color in the font block. We recommend using a black font on a white background because this combination provides the greatest contrast for all users. Last, click the Show Hide Formatting button in the paragraph block, which will display hidden formatting symbols every time you press the Enter key, Tab key, or Space bar. Now give the document a title and make that title Heading 1 by putting your cursor to the left of the title and clicking Heading 1 in the Styles menu. To modify its appearance, right-click the Heading 1 icon and select Modify, and you can change its appearance in the Modify Style window. Press Enter to move to the next line in the document. If you want more space to follow the title, don't keep pressing the Enter key. Instead, double-click the formatting symbol following the title, open the Paragraph Settings menu, and under Spacing, choose 0 next to Before, and however much spacing you want to follow the highlighted formatting symbol next to After. I'm going to choose 12. To make 12 the default after all titles and paragraphs in this document, click Set as Default and then OK, which is what I will do. Notice that Heading 1 now appears in the navigation sidebar, which will allow you to keep track of your heading structure in longer documents and also to move whole sections of text around in the document simply by clicking and dragging the heading titles. Also notice that you have now added spacing after the title without pressing the Enter key more than once. Why is this important? Because every time you press the Enter key or space bar after the first time, assistive technology reads aloud to blind users the word blank. For example, if you press the Enter key 6 times, a blind user hears the word blank 5 times. Blank, 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 and can't navigate past this useless speech the way a sighted user can skip right past the white space to the next line of text. Let's begin keyboarding the text. If this were a longer document, we would first keyboard a section title and then format it as Heading 2, like this. Keyboard the title of the subsection. Place the cursor to the left of the title. Choose Heading 2 from the Styles menu. Right-click the Heading 2 icon and select Modify if you want to change its appearance. In this case, I want to bold the Heading 2 title. You may bold, italicize, and increase the font size of the headings in the Style menu for sighted users because Word has coded these headers specifically for assistive technology, and assistive technology therefore reads aloud to blind users the phrase Heading 1, Heading 2, etc. Sighted users know these are headings because they can see the bolding, larger font size, and white space after them. Blind users also know they are headings because you have used the Styles menu to create the headings that contain coding that assistive technology can read. When you're finished, click OK. Notice that Heading 2 now appears in the navigation sidebar. Because we don't need this subheading in this document, I'll delete it and begin keyboarding the text. At the end of a paragraph, press Enter only once and then use Paragraph Settings to add extra space if you want. Since I set the default to add a 12-point space after each title and paragraph, I can simply continue keyboarding. you want to indent these paragraphs, do not use the Tab key. Position the cursor at the beginning of the paragraph and move the first line indent on the ruler. Alternately, you can use the Paragraph Settings menu to automatically indent each paragraph by making selections under Indentation and then selecting First Line and the amount of indentation you want under Special. Now I want to create a bulleted list. I press the Enter key only once. I then select the bullets icon from the paragraph block and begin keyboarding my text. To change the indent of bullets, highlight the text and drag the indents on the ruler. To stop bulleting, click the bullets icon. Last, give this document a title in the Properties menu of the File tab. Click the Title field and keyboard a title for the document, which can be the same title as the Heading 1 title. This document is not ADA compliant because it contains what are called blank characters, and it has a title, but that title is not configured as Heading 1. Therefore, visually impaired users will not know that it's a title. Also, the document is single-spaced and should be spaced at a minimum of 1.15. None of these errors display in Word's Accessibility Checker, as you can see on the right, yet the document is very difficult for a visually impaired user to navigate. Let's fix it. Note that we cannot see where the blank characters are. We first have to click the Show Hide Formatting button in the paragraph block. Now that we can see the formatting symbols for the multiple depressions of the Enter key, we must delete those multiple depressions and add white space in a way that is ADA compliant. Since the author of this document seems to want double spacing between each paragraph, let's set double spacing as default for the whole document by highlighting the first formatting symbol at the end of the first sentence, opening the Paragraph Settings menu, and selecting 12 next to After, and then Set as Default. The entire document now double spaces between paragraphs. So let's move each repeated instance of the Enter key depression by deleting the formatting symbols. We now have achieved the spacing between each paragraph without pressing the Enter key more than once. Now let's change the document spacing by highlighting the entire document and then selecting 1.15 in the line and paragraph spacing icon in the paragraph block. And we can see the spacing for the entire document change. Now let's configure the title as Heading 1 by placing the cursor to the left of the title, selecting Heading 1 in the Styles menu, right-clicking the Heading 1 icon, and selecting Modify if we want to change its appearance. Last, let's give the document the same title in the Properties menu of the File tab by clicking the File tab, clicking the Title field, and entering a title.